Imagine a world where your child's future isn't shaped by their dreams, their passions, or even their natural talents, but by an invisible, all-knowing entity. An entity that analyzes their every move, predicts their potential, and then, without their knowledge or consent, steers them down a predetermined path. Sounds like sci-fi? What if I told you this isn't a futuristic dystopia, but a silent revolution already underway, quietly designing the destiny of millions of children right now? To understand this chilling reality, we need to peel back the layers of our increasingly data-driven society. It began innocently enough, with the promise of personalization. Online streaming services suggesting movies, shopping sites recommending products, social media feeds tailored to our interests. This seemed convenient, frictionless. But what happens when this insatiable hunger for data, for pattern recognition, for prediction, extends beyond entertainment and consumer habits, and starts to infiltrate the hallowed halls of education, childcare, and even early development? The journey starts with seemingly innocuous digital tools introduced into classrooms, adaptive learning platforms that adjust difficulty based on a student's performance, educational apps that track progress, even AI-powered tutors. These systems gather vast amounts of data, not just test scores but mouse clicks, time spent on questions, facial expressions detected by webcams, the frequency of errors, the types of errors. Every interaction becomes a data point, fed into complex algorithms designed to optimize learning. But optimization, while sounding beneficial, carries a hidden cost. It's not just about helping students grasp algebra, it's about building a digital profile, a detailed map of their cognitive strengths, weaknesses, learning styles, and even their emotional states. This profile starts accumulating from their earliest years, long before they can truly articulate their own aspirations. It's a digital shadow, growing in detail and influence, predicting not just tomorrow's homework but perhaps even next decade's career path. The lines between assistance and algorithmic determinism begin to blur. But things took a far more complex turn when these insights moved beyond simple academic performance. Researchers and companies began to explore how these algorithmic models could predict future outcomes. Can we identify struggling students before they drop out? Can we pinpoint children at risk for certain developmental challenges? What if we could guide them toward specific fields where they're statistically most likely to succeed? The answers, while promising a utopia of efficiency, unlock a Pandora's box of ethical dilemmas. Consider the surge of edtech companies, many of them venture-backed, all promising to revolutionize learning through AI. They deploy sophisticated machine learning models that ingest everything: a child's attendance records, their grades, their extracurricular activities, their interactions with peers on school-sanctioned platforms, even their family's socioeconomic data, if available. These datasets, often anonymized in theory but re-identifiable in practice, are used to create predictive scores. A college readiness score, a career aptitude index, or even a behavioral risk assessment. Think about the implications. A child, perhaps still in elementary school, is tagged by an algorithm as having a low propensity for STEM fields based on early interactions with a math game, or another identified as at risk for disruptive behavior due to patterns in their online communication. These tags, while invisible to the child, can become incredibly influential. Counselors might subtly redirect them from advanced classes, schools might offer different enrichment programs, or even parents, privy to these algorithmic insights, might unconsciously steer their children away from paths the algorithm deemed less suitable. We're moving from observation to intervention, from guidance to a form of quiet, predictive control. The concern isn't always malicious intent. Often it's the well-meaning desire to optimize, to prevent, to guide. But algorithms are built on historical data, which inherently carries biases. If past data reflects systemic inequalities, then an algorithm trained on that data will perpetuate and even amplify those same inequalities, effectively coding them into a child's computed future. A child from a disadvantaged background might be algorithmically steered away from a demanding university program, not because of their innate ability, but because the model learned that similar children historically struggled to complete it. This isn't just about efficiency, this is about potentially cementing social stratification, about replacing the messy, unpredictable beauty of human potential with cold, hard statistical probabilities. The unknown, the unexpected, the outlier, these become statistical anomalies to be corrected, rather than unique paths to be explored. What they discovered next changed everything. Take the case of a pilot program in a large school district where an AI system was implemented to identify students at risk of dropping out. The system analyzed hundreds of data points, far more than any human counselor could process. It flagged certain students and interventions were put in place: extra tutoring, mentoring, parental engagement. On paper, it was a success. Dropout rates decreased among the flagged students. But a closer examination revealed an unsettling truth. The algorithm, it turned out, heavily weighted factors like a student's zip code, the educational attainment of their parents, and their past disciplinary records. While these factors can correlate with dropout risk, the algorithm was effectively penalizing students for their circumstances rather than just their academic struggles. A determined student from a challenging neighborhood who might otherwise have defied expectations could be preemptively helped into programs that assumed a lower ceiling for their potential. They were being limited not by their own choices or efforts, but by a statistical profile. Or consider the phenomenon of adaptive content curation in educational apps. Imagine a child who, in their curiosity, clicks on a few complex physics videos. The algorithm interpreting this as a strong interest might then inundate them exclusively with physics-related material, subtly closing off exposure to literature, history, or arts. The child's exploration is curtailed, their curiosity funneled, and their educational diet prescribed by a set of lines of code. This isn't about fostering well-rounded individuals, it's about efficiently identifying and developing specialized units for a future workforce, possibly at the expense of independent thought or multidisciplinary creativity. The scariest part? These systems are often black boxes. Their precise logic, the weightings of their thousands of variables, are proprietary secrets, known only to the corporations that build them. We're entrusting the delicate, invaluable journey of childhood development to hidden algorithms without full transparency or accountability. So, what does this mean for the next generation? The implications are profound. If we allow algorithms to become the unseen architects of our children's lives, are we truly preparing them for a future where adaptability, critical thinking, and genuine passion are paramount? Or are we, however inadvertently, creating a society where individual potential is prematurely categorized and where deviation from an algorithmic norm is seen as an error to be corrected? To this day, we may never know the full extent to which these systems are already influencing millions of lives. The data continues to accumulate, the algorithms continue to refine, and the silent design of destiny continues. The critical question isn't whether algorithms can predict, it's whether they should prescribe. It's about the soul of education, the autonomy of the individual, and the very definition of what it means to grow, learn, and discover one's own unique path in a world increasingly shaped by hidden hands. The future of our children, unfiltered by code, remains perhaps the one true frontier we must fiercely protect. If you want more mysteries like this, the next video explores the subtle ways social media algorithms are impacting our collective memory.